welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming by. This is going to be a stream of my workouts, doing biceps tonight. It's really quick. I'm doing a body transformation this year. The thing that sets my body transformation apart from others is that I'm not using any sort of supplements. That's no protein shakes, no protein powders, no creatine, no BCAAs, no pre-workouts, nothing extra. Just trying to get all my nutrients from the food that I eat and just to see how it goes. I'm not opposed to supplements. I think they work great. I used them in the past. And if you want to use supplements, great. Do what works best for you. I just don't know if it's absolutely necessary for me to take a bunch of supplements to hit my current goals. And decided to take a year to see what it looks like going without them. And secondary reason is one of my kids started preschool. Preschool is expensive. Cutting out supplements saves me at least $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. And in this economy, every little bit helps. Going to start out with some warm up for the biceps. Going to do some 10-pound 4.53 kilogram dumbbells just to kick it off. This is going to be a quick workout. I've got to start pretty late. Today was a very long, tedious day of cleaning. It's supposed to be a day off, but I had some fun over the weekend. So today was just about making up for it, getting all the cleaning and stuff done before the school week starts. So thankfully I was able to get a lot done, but it was definitely tedious. Busy day. Tomorrow is going to be not as much cleaning. I got a bunch of errands to run out of the house. That'll be fun. Never stops. Big thing for cleaning, or the big accomplishment for cleaning tonight, is that today I was able to get all the house picked up and get my kids' bedrooms cleaned and kept them clean long enough for my wife to see it all done. And that's the hard part. Oh man, sorry, Venom. Other symbiotes. The hard part about cleaning is like getting it all done, because you can like get the front of the house clean, but then your kids are destroying their bedrooms. You get their bedrooms clean, that gives them time to destroy the front. keeping them occupied so they don't destroy everything you're fixing is very tricky and tedious. And the hard part is I'm trying not to let the tablets or the TV be the thing that occupies their time. So getting them to do something else while you're cleaning that isn't one of those things and then not make a mess makes it harder. But fortunately, I grew up in the 80s and 90s and know that you can just send kids into the backyard to play and that they will figure out ways to entertain themselves in the backyard for hours. And not my kids weren't in the backyard for hours, but I know it's possible because I was in the backyard for hours as a kid. You learn how to entertain yourself out there. All right, going to move to 35 pounds, 15.88 kilogram dumbbells. As always, the goal is to do sets of 15. We'll see how it goes. That was not easy. I was listening to a podcast today between Joe Rogan and Andrew Huberman, and they were talking about the importance of doing hard things and how it helps you in your life. And it's good to hear because that's something I've talked about before. That I do think that doing difficult things in the gym or in sports will help you in other areas of your life, you know, and let you know what you're made of and that you can persevere. And especially when I think when you do things that come with physical consequences for screwing up or physical pain, it helps which when in uncomfortable situations that don't actually cause you physical pain, you know, whether it's standing up to a boss or a rude customer or something where it's like this will be awkward, but I'm not gonna get hurt. It makes it a lot easier. I think difficult things in my life have made a lot of situations easier. I was in a situation once at work where a customer threatened me and then assaulted me, and I defended myself. Just took him to the ground and held him there until security got there and let them take it from there. And the company I worked for at the time wasn't enthusiastic about what I did. They really wanted to fire me for it, but I hadn't done anything illegal. I'd only protected myself and hadn't been excessive in that. So there's really nothing they could do except waste my time by telling me I needed to take anger management. And I asked the person in charge of that, wait, like, why? Why do I need anger management? And they said, oh, because you were angry. So I wasn't angry. I don't have to be angry to defend myself. I don't have to lose my temper to, keep myself from getting hurt. And it's funny is like people have a mindset, like a lot, at least they did, that you would only ever defend yourself if you lost your temper. And it's like, what a sad place to be in your life, where you can only stand up for yourself if you're angry. You can only protect yourself if you're angry. And it sounds so weird to me. Like, I can fight and I can do things without losing my mind. But to them, it seemed like an impossible trait. And anger management was a huge waste of my time. Anger management was weird. It was a lot of people in there that seemed their biggest problem was nobody put them in their place, and they were just allowed to rage out, and whoever they were raging against wasn't big enough to or strong enough to put them in their place. A lot of them sounded very weak. And I'm not saying that's all anger management classes, and I'm sure, but they needed it. But there were some interesting people in that class. One old guy said, "Oh, like I feel like now that I'm older, I care less, and so I say what I want more all the time." I was like, I think you care less. I think you've reached an age where you realize that no one's gonna punch an old man in the mouth for being disrespectful. So you're just disrespectful because you don't think anyone's gonna knock you out. And he didn't really have anything to say back to that. Whole time he thought he was just brave. I didn't eat an apple before coming out here. I feel like in lieu of pre-workouts, seems to me like an apple, man, seems to really help my working out. What's up, Dixie Vixie? Good morning. You are up early. Hope all is well. I hope you have a good reason for being up this early. An echo, we can hear you twice. That's weird. I shouldn't. I don't know why. I don't know why I would have an echo. Is there still an echo? Uni starters need to wake up early. 8 a.m. lecture. That's rough. What's the lecture on? What's up, Bailmorph? You're up pretty late. I haven't sat through a lecture in a while. I'm good, man. It's a long day, but made it through. I like cleaned house, did laundry, all the fun stuff for like 8 hours straight today. It was a long day. Long day of chores. And trying to entertain my kids the whole time. I was saying early on, that's the hard part is making sure the kids do good. So lever tickle 12. Lever to call 12. Good. Welcome to the chat. Dixie says busy day you've had. Yeah, it was long. The hard part is is when you clean the front of the house, the kids destroy the rooms. While you're cleaning the rooms, they go back to the front of the house and destroy the front of the house. So it takes a lot of work to keep them from wrecking everything that you fix. So that was the hard part. And laundry. Like laundry just stacks up. And I have to be like extra careful with the kids' clothes and stuff and wash them just right because they have all their school clothes now. I have to make sure they're all protected from stains. And I didn't say, but that's the 30 pounds, 13.6 kilogram dumbbells. Dixie says it can be tough. That's tough, but it was worth it. It's gonna make the rest of my week easier. So this is good, and it's nice. Like it's nice when my wife can come home because she's working long hours too. So when she can come home and the house is in good order and dinner's all squared away and everything, it's nice. How old's the kids? My kids are pretty little. They're not. I think it'll be easier when they're bigger, when you don't have to entertain them as much. Plus, I was primarily trying to, do everything and keep them off their tablets. That was the big push today. Because it's easier when you let them hang out on electronic devices. But I want to stay away from that. So it was a rough one. Got to get them to chores age. Yeah, well, that was part of the problem today. Is one of them should be able to clean their room, but it's a big, it was a big fight. So I definitely have to nail that down. But they're good at picking stuff up, but like putting it away where it should go is the hard part. Like if you say like get everything put away, it'll end up where it's not supposed to be. So, but it's fine. It'll get easier, easier and easier. Benmore says, remember my ex-wife wanted a kid and I said, can't we just adopt one old enough to mow the lawn? I used to say she wasn't happy with that answer. Yeah. My kids have it easier than I did. It won't always be that way, but my parents were both Marines and instilled in us a high standard of clean when we were kids. Yeah. And I'll get them there. I'm not white glove testing their room yet. I'll show you. So, I do my own haircuts like 99% of the time. I've been doing it for a long time. And today is like the first time I've ever done this kind of screwed up. I've screwed my hair up different times. Anytime I thought, let's try a fade again, I end up blowing it really bad. So I stick to a pretty basic haircut. I can't give myself a fade. But so I had the 10 guard on and was going back, and I didn't put it on all the way and didn't realize it. So when I put it in, it snagged and came off, and I ended up with the one jabbing right here. I have a nice bald spot. It's right here. I don't know if you can see it, but you can't see it unless you're taller than me or I point it out. That's happened to you before, Bam Morph? Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Reminds me of the first time I had to shave my head. It's because I asked my sister to do the back for me, and I didn't have a guard on it. I just wanted her to do the back, and she was like, "How far do I go?" And she stopped like up here. I was like, "Oh, can't fix that." Yeah. How your big guns doing today, man? Belmore? You got some massive guns on you, man. Pretty good. Did chest, back, and shoulders today. Oh man, were you streaming today? I didn't see an alert. Dang, I'm sorry I missed it. How long do you work out for? I have to keep mine to about an hour because of the kids. Usually takes me about 2 hours with the weights, 20 to 30 minutes cardio at the end. Just about more. Yeah, that's good, man. Wish I had time to do some cardio at the end. I like doing cardio at the end. It's nice. Burn off that extra little bit of calories. I use cardio to make sure that I can eat and drink what I want. But right now I'm on the middle of trying to lose weight. I did manage to lose over 10 pounds in August. So that was nice. Just over 10 pounds. Hopefully in September I can do the same. And then October do the same. And if I can manage to do that, it'll put me about 185. Then from there, if I could just shave off like another 5 pounds and end the year at 180, I'd be stoked. My goal is to not gain weight at all in December or November and December. Every year, I try not to gain weight in those months. I don't worry about losing weight this month or this time. I'm going to still be trying to lose 2.5 pounds in November and 2.5 pounds in December. That's not hard, but I hit cardio really hard in those months so that I can eat whatever I want, enjoy all the holidays, and not get too big. Benmore says, "Yeah, I've been cutting for 8 weeks. I'm down 24 pounds. Gonna cut 4 more, and then do like 8-week maintenance so I can enjoy some food before doing another 12-week cut." Oh, good on you, man. 24 pounds in 8 weeks. That is killer. Are you just counting calories and cardio, or are you taking anything with that? That is solid work. Cardio definitely helps. Eating around 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day. Yeah. Now, when you say 1,800 to 2,000 calories, do you, no matter what, that's what you eat? Or if you burn 400 calories, do you eat 2,200 calories? Or is it like, that's all you eat? Because, like, what I'll do is if I'm shooting for 1,800, like, I make sure that I burn like 400 to 600 calories a day doing something, whether it's hard cardio or just walking. But I make sure that I burn off what I eat to keep it below the calories. Because I'm eating 3 meals a day. Each meal is about 600 calories. And if I eat a snack, no more than like 250. If I do eat that snack, make damn sure I don't skip my cardio. Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, the most amount of weight I ever lost was at the end of 2021. I was at 246 pounds. So by the end of 2022, going to 2023, I dropped down to 184.6 pounds. So I dropped over 64 pounds. in a year. And all I did that year, like 99% of what I did was just cardio. I didn't do any weightlifting. And part of the problem was one of the reasons I put on the weight is I tore my pec in 2021 and wasn't really able to lift or work out solidly. And even like running, like cardio was not good because, it tear my chest more. So couldn't do it. I had to leave it alone and just kind of was bummed and bulked up, just eating too much and drinking. So 2022 was like the big like I gotta do whatever it takes to get this off. So I was scared. I was really scared because going from 220 to 246 was like almost overnight. And I felt like I was just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger, faster and faster. I was really scared about how fast I was getting fat. The only part that really bummed me out about not lifting was just I got lost a lot of muscle mass, but I was too scared to like risk it. Ben Moore says, "Man, my job is my downfall. I framed houses for like 12 to 13 years and stayed at around 200 pounds. Then I got a desk job and blew up to 300 pounds. Dude, a change in work like that for sure. Like, first time I put on weight is when I went from being a store manager to district manager and had to drive around all the time and like was eating like snacks in the car and pounding like the energy drinks and stuff to stay, you know, energized when I would show up at stores. You have to motivate employees. You can't like show up and be tired. And that like cost me. And that was the first time I went over 200 pounds. Um, and like I think I hit 215 for the first time ever doing that job. But yeah, especially like if like doing a manual labor job like framing houses, like physical labor, going to a desk, that's gonna be a big change. That's why I like working outside. I've worked at desks, but like managing, like I worked in a casino and I had a desk, but I was managing the slot floor, so I would walk the slot floor so I could get still some exercise, but I couldn't imagine 8 hours at a desk. It says, yeah, went from burning tons of calories every day to virtually zero. Yeah. And I find that when you're at a desk or doing jobs like that too, you drink coffee throughout the day. So when you get off work or you want to go to sleep, you haven't really done a lot of exercise, so you still have energy. And if you don't exercise, that's going to keep you up. So like for me, like I would be drinking, like I'd have a couple of drinks and go to bed. And that just starts like a bad cycle. Stay up late playing video games, pounding beers, adds up. And then there's Paramore says, yeah, I miss my old fashions. Yeah, I still drink, but I usually regulate it to Friday night and Saturday night. And then for the most part, I just drink whiskey. I'll either drink whiskey straight or like have like a can of ginger ale with it. Dixie Vixie says, I remember how our family many years ago would have chips and beer Friday. It definitely had an impact on my dad. Yeah, chips and beer would do it. One of my kids loves like French fries. I could definitely see that being their downfall. And they love chips. They love chips, and like you have to watch them. Amor says, "Yeah, if you're gonna drink, gotta stick to liquor. Beer is way too many calories." Yeah, yes, and like to feel buzzed, it takes a lot of beer for me. Um, I'm Irish and Hispanic, and I feel like the combo of genes came together to give me an amazing ability to drink. Benmore says, I'm off to bed. Have a good workout, man. Just wanted to come in and say hi since I saw you were streaming. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I get some sleep. That sunrise in Louisiana is gonna get you quick. Tequila and Irish whiskey. I've never mixed those, but they on whiskey. I can drink tequila like it's water, though. I had a buddy try to go to toe on me with a bottle of tequila, and I left him in the dust. And he was like still hurting the next night from it. A little bad, but you should know your own limits. Don't try to keep up with everyone. Dixie Vixie, did you ever say what you're studying today? What your lecture is on? If I remember right, you're studying physiology, right? And why? Does general education get pushed where you're at, where you have to study a wide variety of subjects before you can solely focus on a major, or are you able to focus on a major? Ben Marsh says, "Man, I went on a 5 day cruise in December. Day and a half was just margaritas, 3 bourbon and Coke. Days 4 or 5 old fashions. I don't think I even drank water in the entire 5 days. That's a hurt. That is a hurt for sure." It's the very first lecture, so it's just an introductional one. So the first lectures in like the U.S. can be incredibly obnoxious because every professor goes over the same thing about homework and how to do the homework, and people always ask the same dumb questions every time, and it's all written down for them. and they're just not paying attention to what the paper says and not paying attention to what the professor just said. And they just ask the same questions like, well, how wide do the margins have to be? What font do we have to use? What citation method do we have to use? And it's just so rough. He says, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's such a drag. It's hard. The hard one is because you have to be patient. Is when it's older people going back to school and they don't know how to use computers or internet, and then they have a lot of questions, and that's fair. Like, I mean, so I try not to be begrudging to that or get irritated, but it can get still frustrating. But you have to be patient, especially with your seniors, and you don't want them to feel bad because you don't want them to quit now that they're finally on a path they want to be. I can't imagine what it's like to go to university now when you have like when you have to contend with AI and students using AI, and like I would be my biggest worry about AI and homework assignments would be the idea that you would accidentally sound like a AI computer or paper. It used to drive me nuts when I was a kid because I had a pretty good vocabulary when I was young, and I would write sentences and I would look at the book and be like, oh man, that sounds just like the book or just like an encyclopedia. How do I say this so the teacher doesn't think that I'm plagiarizing? And I would be annoyed because I was like, this is the best form this sentence could be. Why would I have to change it? Like it doesn't sound like it sounds. This is the best it's gonna sound. I would definitely be like super paranoid about AI. I would be like checking my own stuff to make sure that I didn't accidentally copy something or somebody else didn't copy it. And that would be frustrating because I feel like if you have enough students using AI to write their papers and then modifying it shortly, that it is possible that you would accidentally write something that AI had written as well. Fixie Fixie says, "Oh man, AI is scary." But it's like that idea. Have you ever heard like the idea that if you have an infinite amount of monkeys with an infinite amount of typewriters and infinite amount of time, they will eventually compose Shakespeare or write out Shakespeare. And if you have all of these students using AI to write their papers, it seems like you're going to accidentally plagiarize AI without meaning to eventually. And if every paper is being uploaded to some sort of system to cross check for that, it seems like it's very possible. I had an idea that for a short story where someone has designed a computer program to write every single song and every single combination that will ever be. And then they make a living off of suing artists for plagiarizing or copyright infringement. You know, they wait till somebody takes one of their songs and makes it big, and then they come out and they're like, hey, like, I wrote that song years ago. You can't use it. You know. But here's the question I thought of. Um, Dixie Big says, "What's the F? This that's evil." Yeah. What do you think about this though? Okay, so artificial intelligence, it's an idea that it's going to have intelligence of its own and be able to affect the world, and possibly pass itself off as real. Is the Mona Lisa artificial intelligence? In that it people look at it and they glean meaning from it for years. They find different things from it. It influences people. It gets into people's heads. It affects their thoughts. It generates its own currency because people pay to go see the Mona Lisa. And it's an idea that started with Da Vinci. Like, it's his ideas he put into a framework for people to glean from long after he was gone. And so is art a form of artificial intelligence? It can't modify itself, obviously. So the Mona Lisa, that's one problem, is the Mona Lisa can't reconfigure itself into something else per se, but it can still have its intended effect for generations. Is art a form of artificial intelligence? Lucy says, no, sorry, I don't get how that can be AI. Yeah, I don't, it's just something I was thinking about. I haven't finished the thought. I've only just started thinking about it, so it's an incomplete thought. But it does seem to me that art carries a level of intelligence. Um, Maybe it's just because I never considered the intelligence of an art piece before, or the intelligence that's imbued into an art piece by the artist. You, you mainly, or I mainly, you'll perceive art as, oh, it's supposed to be beautiful or intriguing in some way, and not that it's intelligence, that there's intelligence that goes into it. I mean, obviously, you think of an artist as intelligent, but you don't think of it as, you're looking for the beauty of it or the emotional appeal, and not always the intellectual side. Dixie Vic says that's an interesting perspective. Yeah. I don't know. Just something I was thinking about. And if a guy like Da Vinci is incredibly intelligent, does he imbue that art piece with his intelligence? And because we keep looking at it and gleaning from it and experiencing his intelligence has it taken on a life of its own as artificial intelligence. And you could say that it adapts because it adapts to its time, it adapts to the viewer. I don't know. I gotta go though. It is time for me to put my kids down. I'm very late. Thank you so much for hanging out, Dixie. Say hi to Copa for me when you see him. Hope you guys are doing well. Miss you guys. I'm glad you were able to stop by, and I hope you have a good class. Hopefully, it's not a horrible, boring lecture on how to write your name over and over again. That's the part too. I forgot when they talk about the heading. Like, how are you supposed to head a paper? How are you supposed to head your homework? Those ones, it's old. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you all for chiming in. God bless you.